Hey, I'm Paul Begay, AST Systems Designer. So this is the XS1000, the BBF XS1000, and this is how it arrives at your door. And I want to go through some of the parts and pieces that you're going to need to get this filter assembled, okay? So first thing, we put these brass staples on here. So you're going to want to get a pair of pliers, pull those staples off, open this thing up. You can lie it down on its side, but be gentle when you're doing that so that anything doesn't get too jostled around inside of it. And I'm going to pull this thing out. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so let's go over the parts. This is the bubble bead filter. This is our air in. This is capped so that beads don't escape out of it during shipping. This is our water in. This is the screen. So the screen is currently inside of the filter, okay? That's trapping the beads. The beads are all on the bottom of the filter during shipping. If you spin it around, what we see is our top screen already installed, okay? So we've got our plumbing bag right here, taped nicely. Let's find out what's in that plumbing bag. So we should have, our instruction manual for how to put this together, okay? So you can check on our website for this. This is the BBF XS1000 bubble wash bead filter, all right? I'm gonna turn to page 2 and I'm gonna look at my parts list, okay? So I'll grab a pair of scissors, I'll cut this packing tape, then I'll open up my parts bag and I'm gonna look at everything that I've got, all right? I'm just gonna lay all this stuff out. Got some thread tape, got a few nipples, check valve, some threaded nipples. All right, so let me go back to my parts list, make sure that I've got everything inside of the box, okay? Now, it does say here important, all of these threaded fittings, you need to run the thread tape over that. So I'll show you all how to do that, all right? Okay, so I have a Schedule 80 nipple here, and I'm gonna show you all how to wrap Teflon tape around it, okay? So I'm gonna hold it in my left hand, all right? And then I'm gonna wrap 5 to 6 times away from me, all right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll pop it, and then I'll give it a little twist, all right? Now that can be threaded into a filter or any fitting without risk of leaking. So if I turn to page 4, that's going to be our assembly instructions, okay? So I know that the first thing to look for is my 3-way valve, okay? And that's going to be going in to the bottom of the filter, okay? So how exactly does that get connected, okay? So let me take a look at this. All right, we're going to put our nipple here, and we're going to thread this into the filter here, okay? And then we're going to thread on our 3-way valve to that, all right? But hang on, I didn't put any thread tape on. So we'll pop off this thread tape, and then we'll roll thread tape around each of these fittings. Anything that's got thread on it needs to have the thread tape, all right? You should probably end up using about half of this thread tape. I'll wrap 5 to 7 times around, covering all the threads before I thread it in. Then you want to thread it hand tight. That'll prevent any small leaks from being able to escape from the filter. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the nipple onto the 3-way valve. And then I'm going to thread that nipple into the filter, okay? Next thing I'm going to do, these are both female threads here and here. So I'm going to thread in my barbed nipples. Remember, thread tape first before putting these barbed nipples in. All right? So these barbed fittings, this is where your hosing is going to go on. All right? So I'll thread both of these on here. And then I'm going to choose my in and my out. Okay? Now that really depends on your configuration. So your pump is going to be on the side where the in, and then you're going to have your out flowing out to where you're going to be draining your solids. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do is I need to install my air in. All right? That means I'm going to undo this fitting here, which was just sent to keep the beads inside during shipping. So that's just an extra plug for you. And I'm going to thread with the screen, this black screen here. This goes into the filter, and then I'm going to thread this assembly. This is our air in assembly. Remember, I'm not putting thread tape on just for this video, but every single time that you thread something in, you need thread tape, okay? So we've got our bottom, we've got our air in. Now we need to look at our outlet, okay? So our outlet is going to look like this. We've already got our screen installed, so we're going to thread in this fitting here. Slip on this side, threads on this side, all right? So we're going to first thread tape this, thread tape, thread tape, thread tape, thread this into place. Next thing we're going to have is our check valve. Very important that the check valve is put on in the correct orientation. Now that means water's going to be flowing out. So I need to find the arrow on this, and I need to see that it's going in that direction. The flow needs to be going in this direction, okay? So then I get a little bit of glue, primer, then glue on this outlet, and then this where it'll be going in. So the male and the female side. Then I'm going to thread this in so that I can see my arrow right up here at the top, okay? Now the next thing we're gonna do after we get that glued in, we're gonna use again primer and glue on each of these fittings, and we're gonna be making our elbow go wherever it is that we want the flow to go, okay? So let's say we want it to go this way. Next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be, same thing, primer and glue on the male and female, and we're going to be popping this in. Next is going to be our hose, right? On the XS1000, hoses connect for your in, your out, and your sludge drain, all right? So let's take a quick look again. This is your assembly. The parts that are left over, your thread tape after it's been used, and the cap. Everything else is going to be installed on the filter. If you have any additional questions, please refer to the owner's manual or astfilters.com. You can always call if you need to. Thanks so much.